In the first joint training camp practice between the Lions and the Giants yesterday, things got feisty as multiple skirmishes broke out. But boy, an absolute fight broke out as fists were absolutely thrown between Kirby Joseph and Malik Neighbors, and we're going to talk about it. So don't you dare go anywhere.
What are we? What makes us what we are and what we're going to be? It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Can definitely compete with the big dogs.
10-5 end zone touchdown Detroit Lions.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions fans, and welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and as always, we're diving on in. So, this news just literally dropped, folks, and we're going to talk about it. Apparently, what had just happened at training camp practice for the Giants and for the Lions is that an absolute fight broke out between safety Kirby Joseph of the Lions and wide receiver Malik Neighbors of the Giants. Now, what exactly happened? Here's what happened. I'm going to show you the video that has been, posted out on Twitter. Some people have seen it, some people probably have not. But what you're going to see is obviously Malik Neighbors. He is running across the field. What happens? He runs right in front of, or, kind of alongside, if you will, of Kirby Joseph. And Kirby Joseph, he's not doing anything. He's literally just standing there. And the next thing we see is freaking Malik Neighbors just takes his hand and he just thwops the face mask, thwops the face of Kirby Joseph, and then he just kind of looks around like, oh, ha, 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 I just got the better of you. Dude, this is freaking such absolute bull crap. This is such unprofessionalism. This is such childish freaking crap here. The fact that Malik Neighbors feels that he has the right, he has the ability to go up to Kirby Joseph and do this kind of nonsense is absolutely an embarrassment on the Giants franchise. It's an embarrassment on the Giants coaches. It's an embarrassment on the Giants players. And I'm telling you this right now. If I was Kirby Joseph, I would have probably given the same response that he freaking gave Malik Neighbors. Because Kirby Joseph, I'm going to say this right now, he was not standing for that crap. This goes right back to what I said yesterday with Alex Anzalone was saying, listen, those Giants players are doing things, they're grabbing players, they're being unprofessional, they're playing dirty, they're practicing dirty, whatever you want to call it. These Giants players are absolutely being dirty. They are being unprofessional, and it is showing in how they are conducting themselves in these practices. And I'm calling it out for what it is. The Giants are absolutely a joke of a franchise. They are not being run professionally by their coach, and there is no discipline. Now, I know Giants fans who might watch this want to say, well, that's kind of, the kettle calling the tea kettle calling whatever black. And I'm just going to be like, you know what? I don't care. I really don't give a damn. You want to know why? Because again, this is how the Giants have been acting for the last 2 days. They have constantly been instigating crap. And it's like, dude, you're the ones that are causing all of these skirmishes to happen. You're the ones that are constantly making all of this nonsense occur because you want to be unprofessional. You want to constantly go after Lions players after the whistle's been blown dead, after stuff is done and over with. You want to act like a bunch of unprofessional jerks, and the Lions are not going to stand for that crap. They are not going to let some team that thinks that, oh, we're just going to act some kind of way we want to because this is our home turf. No, that's not how that works. You're not just going to come up and you're just going to freaking slap our players in the mouth and be all unprofessional and be just a bunch of freaking jerks and expect that we're just going to lie down and, not going to do anything in response. That's not how that works. These are grown-ass men that are on the field. They have pride not only in themselves, but they have pride in their work. And if you honestly think that some hotshot rookie wide receiver is all of a sudden going to come out there and just act like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want because that's what I did in college. Hell no, sir. That's not how that works. The guys that are out on the field for the Lions, most of those guys have earned what they have done. They have had to earn their way. They have paid their dues. And this freaking rookie wide receiver, Malik Neighbors, is out there acting like, hey, you know what? I can just do whatever the hell I want and I don't have to pay any repercussions for it. Obviously, my friend, you have to pay repercussions because you just had your welcome to the NFL moment. It's like, oh, you want to act like a spoiled, rotten brat? You want to act like a freaking petulant child? Okay, it's time for you to get an ass whooping. It's time for you to get your jaw freaking rocked. It's time for you to get your freaking world turned upside down. And that's exactly what Kirby Joseph did. He's like, listen, I'm not going to take that crap. And that's exactly what the rest of the Lions players are like right now. They're not going to take the crap that this Giants team feels like, hey, you know what? We're just allowed to do that. And I don't know where the hell that's coming from. Like, what exactly do the Giants have to be proud about? What exactly do they have to feel so puffed out with their chest and be like, hey, we're the big bad boys on the block. We're just going to do whatever the hell we want. Last time I checked, you guys have been one of the worst teams over the last couple of years. And you ain't really doing anything to make it any better. And when you constantly have stuff like this being pushed out on the internet, you have stuff like this being pushed around the rest of the NFL, all it's doing is sending a bad image. It is sending a bad message to the rest of the NFL that you are a poorly run organization, you are not being disciplined in your practices, and nobody is holding you accountable. And again, we've seen that just in this offseason with the freaking Hard Knocks videos. Hell, their own GM thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to freaking try and strong arm Saquon Barkley, and then you know what? I'm just going to somehow expect that he's going to come back to me and that nobody's going to do anything about it. Well, obviously, the reality of the situation is that when the Giants tried to strong arm Barkley, he decided to go and play for the Eagles, their freaking rival. Oh, that freaking came back and backfired you, bit you in the ass. Just kind of like, hey, how Malik Neighbors decided, oh, I'm just going to come up to a player and I'm just going to freaking, slap him in the face, and you know what? He should just be cool with it, right? There's no big problem here. I can do whatever the hell I want because I'm some hotshot rookie. Wrong. You're about to get your ass beat, and I guarantee you this, ain't nobody going to feel sorry for you. Ain't nobody going to feel sorry for the Giants organization. Ain't nobody except Giants fans, delusional Giants fans, going to look at this and say, oh, Kirby Joseph overreacted. No, Kirby Joseph gave exactly back what he got, which was disrespect, and for that, the price was paid. You're going to get socked in the mouth. You're going to get your ass kicked. You are going to learn your place. And that is exactly what Kirby Joseph did. That is exactly what the Lions have been doing the last 2 days. They have been dealing with an unprofessional, they have been dealing with a freaking joke of a franchise in these practices, thinking like, hey, we can just do whatever we want, and you guys are just going to be cool with it because we're the Giants, as if that somehow means something. And when I saw this video, it just made my blood boil, because I'm like, dude, this right here is why people have problems with rookies that are coming into the NFL. Because there are rookies out there that feel like, hey, you know what? I've arrived. I have arrived in the NFL. I am already the best player out there. I'm not accountable to anybody. I don't have to answer to anybody. I can act whatever kind of some dumbass way on the field, and nobody's going to call me out on it. Sorry, that's not the reality of the situation. The Lions are not going to let you do something like that. And I'm just going to give you an FYI here. Most people in life are not going to let you do that. They're not going to let you act like some sort of foolish kind of way and just be like, oh, you know what, that's totally fine. No, sir. Absolutely not going to happen. So I don't know what world Malik Neighbors thinks he's in, but sorry, it's not the reality. It's not the real world. And that's exactly what Kirby Joseph did with pretty much saying, oh, you think you're going to act that kind of way? Okay, my friend, let's go out back of the woodshed and I'm going to show you what the real world is. And I'm going to kick your ass while I'm doing it. And again, this is the kind of stuff that absolutely just drives me crazy. And I know for Dan Campbell, it drives him crazy because it's like, listen, that's not the point of these joint practices. The point of the joint practices is not to get into these fights. It's not to get into these skirmishes. The point of the joint practices is so that, okay, we as two opposing teams can come out on a practice field and we can put in good, solid work. But when you have a joke of a franchise that is completely showing a lack of discipline, constantly freaking gumming up the works, throwing a monkey wrench in everything, it's hard. It's hard as hell to try and get shit done. Pardon my language. It's hard as hell. Because it's like, dude, how can you get your job done? How can you practice when you've got these Giants players who are constantly being unprofessional? They're constantly trying to start crap with our players. And it's like, dude, the players are not going to stand for it. The Lions have had to earn their dues. They have had to go through a lot of crap over the last couple of years. They're not going to have some upstart Giants team who thinks that all of a sudden, hey, you know what? We got a couple of pieces this offseason. We're just going to act any some kind of way. Be like, hey, You're on our home turf. We're going to dictate to you. No, that's not how that's going to happen. The Lions are a proud franchise. They are a franchise that, as this hat clearly states, they have grit, they have toughness. They are not going to stand for somebody being disrespectful to them. And the fact that, like, I'm going to show the video again because it's imperative that this evidence stands. The fact that Malik Neighbors, this top 10 rookie from the draft, thinks that he can just act some kind of way and that, oh, you know what? I shouldn't have any repercussions for it. And the fact that, hey, you know what? That fight started out. Again, I guarantee you this. In Malik Neighbors' mind, either one of two things was happening. Either one, he was deliberately trying to provoke something out of Kirby Joseph, or any Lions player for that matter. I don't think it had anything to do with Kirby Joseph. I just think it was like, hey, you know what? The first Lions player that walks across my path, I'm going to do something. So either Neighbors was trying to deliberately provoke something from the Lions, or Neighbors just doesn't care. Because he, again, thinks that he has arrived. And that is the kind of attitude that drives me up a damn wall. Because it's like, you have not done anything. You are a rookie. You have not yet played a single freaking actual snap of professional football. To this point, all you have done is practiced. And you're out there acting like you are the best player on the field. You're acting like you don't have to be held accountable to anybody. That right there is what makes me, as I'm getting older, very, very angry with how people approach others. Because it's like, listen, that kind of crap, there is no room for it on the football field. And that is all 100% totally blamed on Malik Neighbors. It's a black eye. It is a bad representation of the Giants franchise. And if I was Brian Daboll, I would be chewing his butt out. I would be chewing Neighbors' ass off on the sideline saying, you are a dumb idiot. You are going to get your ass freaking kicked for doing stuff like that. And the next time you do it, you're going to get paid. You're going to have to pay a fine, or you're going to have to get some other kind of punishment from me or this organization, because that crap does not fly in the NFL. There's a reason why it's a professional football league. You act like a professional. You do not act like a freaking child. And that is exactly what Neighbors did. But anyway, I'm going to end this episode because I'm hot, I'm feisty, I'm not in a good mood right now, and what I saw, I'm absolutely freaking peeved as hell against the Giants players, and I'm peeved as hell against Giants fans, because in that video, those Giants fans are cheering on Malik Neighbors, and it's like, no, you're also part of the problem. And that is something else I'm calling out here. Giants fans that want to cheer on these fights, that want their players to get into scrums and scraps with ours, you guys are just as much a problem for the ones that are actually there at the training camp. I'm not saying all Giants fans, but the ones that are there that are encouraging players to fight ours, yeah, you guys are definitely half the problem. But anyway, I'm ending this episode because I don't want to go on it anymore. I'm already freaking worked up, and I'm done. So I'm going to end it and say thank you all for watching another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode. Also encourage y'all, please, to subscribe to the channel. Also want to encourage y'all, if you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification icon at the bottom as well. Also want to encourage y'all to share this content with your Lions friends and family members. Share here on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it anywhere and everywhere you can. And with that, folks, I hope y'all enjoyed the content. Hope y'all got something in your life that makes you happy, makes you smile. God bless. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next episode when we talk about the observations from the rest of the joint training camp practice later today. Until then, see you later.